Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be continuing David's story. Today's story is going to be called The Jealous King, based on 1 Samuel chapter 18 through 19. These are what the first two pages look like, starting over here. Alright. When the army returns, Saul's general Abner takes David to see the king. "You saved Israel, David. From now on, you will live in the palace. Prince Jonathan will take you back with him." Jonathan had just returned from the palace. He immediately recognized a kindred spirit in David. "David, I'm proud to be the friend of the bravest man in Israel. I want to give you my robe and armor as a sign that I will be loyal to you forever." He says, "Thank you, Jonathan. God is my witness that I will be your friend until death." For the rest of the military campaign, Saul gives David lots of responsibilities. David excels at everything he asked to do, and Saul promotes him to the high-ranking officer. David's reputation spreads, so by the time the army returns home, he is a hero. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. Triumphantly, King Saul and his victorious soldiers parade through the streets. The women rush out of their cities to greet them and sing their praises. The people's praises of David turn Saul's appreciation into rage. He thinks of what the prophet Samuel told him: "The Lord will take your kingdom from you." The people know David is a greater warrior than I am. Maybe he's the one who will take my kingdom from me. So Saul warned him many years prior that that his kingdom would be taken from him. And, Saul doesn't know this at the time, but David is the next king. He would be the Hebrew king, the first Hebrew king, I believe, of Israel. And, obviously Saul doesn't know that, but David does. And, the people's, are celebrating more of David and things. David's a very big hero at the time. I mean, especially the way he slayed Goliath and things like that. His story has been spreading throughout the army and throughout the people, and because of this, it makes Saul jealous. That night, Saul cannot sleep. "My soldiers already love him, and now my people love him." One day, while David plays the harp to soothe Saul's spirit, it's like, "David, he's the hero now, but he can't take my kingdom from me if he's dead." In a burst of rage, Saul grabs a spear and he tries to basically kill David with it. As you can see, here he misses. David was able to duck. He's like, "I missed. I'm sorry, David. I don't know what came over me. It must have been the evil spirit that torments me." David's like, "It must have been an accident. Why would he have promoted me only to kill me?" But Saul's jealousy continues to grow because he knows David has the Lord's favor. So his jealousy is growing. The devil is putting these things in his head and things like that. He don't want anybody to take his kingdom from him. And, in a rage, he tried to kill him. And it's going to continue. His jealousy and his rage continue to boil, basically. And his attempts will be many, because many times he's tried to kill David, as we will see. Not only does the Lord favor David, so does Saul's daughter, Michelle, I believe it is. "That gives me an idea," Saul says to himself. "David, it seems my daughter is in love with you, and who can blame her? You are the most popular man in the kingdom, but since you are a poor commoner, you cannot afford the customary bride price for a king's daughter. So I will waive that fee. However, to prove your value, you must kill 100 Philistines." "Thank you, my king. I am highly honored." So, he wants him to kill 100 Philistines to prove his, prove his value to him. "You may be able to beat one giant Philistine, but 100 of them should be able to kill you. So, truthfully, as we just said before, he sends David out there to die. He wanted him to go out there and just get killed. There's no way he could take on 100 Philistines. He's just, he's nearly a man. But God is with David. If God's with you, no one could be against you. God has incredible power, and that power is in us all. And if God's with you, there's no one who could stop you. And devil is nothing to you. You just have to have the faith and the belief in that. If you don't, then if you doubt God, if you doubt yourself, then you're never. If he doubted himself in this situation or doubted God when he killed Goliath, he wouldn't have killed Goliath. It was because of his faith in God that he was able to kill him. 1 month later, well, did you kill 100 Philistines? And David's like, no, I killed 200, as he throws down the sword. So not only did God show Saul that David could kill 100, but he let him kill 200 Philistines. After David and Michelle's wedding, Saul turns to his faithful son, Jonathan. I know he's your friend, but David has become a threat to the kingdom. He wants to take the crown from me. Will you help me kill him? How can you say that? He's never done anything wrong to you. And with his battles, he's increased your honor and power. You're right, Jonathan. I promise not to harm David. Even my own son loves David more than he loves me, as he thinks in his head. So he wanted him to help him kill him, but David's like, or Jonathan's like, David's brought more honor and power to you. He's won you many battles already, and David is a good person at this time. His faith in God is incredible. He loves God. He's helping the king out by playing the music to him to calm him down. He's become a high-ranking officer. And he just looks at it as, even now, as Jonathan tells him these things, he's like, even he loves him more than he loves me. He's just so jealous, so full of jealousy. It's just ridiculous, and that's the devil just in his head. And him fading away from God. Feeling betrayed by his own family, Saul resorts to conspiracy. Wait until everyone is asleep, then go to David's house and tell him I need to see him. When he gets here, we can kill him with no witnesses. Oh no, I must tell Michelle. As somebody hears, a woman hears the king, conspiring. Michelle, why are you packing my clothes? My father plans to kill you tonight. You must run for your life. I'll delay his guards while you make your escape. Michelle lets David out the back window, then prepares for the next part of her plan. Let us in. King Saul needs to see David on a matter of high importance. As you can see, he's sick in bed. I think it's contagious. I'll let you in, but then you'd be ceremonially unclean for being near a sick person. I'm so sorry. So she claims that he's, sick in bed. Michelle's bold lie confuses the guards who bring the new development to Saul. At first, he seems to take the news calmly. Oh no, I didn't realize he was sick. Well, we'll wait until he's healthy before we kill him. And then he bursts in rage. You fools, bring him now if you have to carry him in his bed to do it. But when the men barge into David's room, they find only a statue with goat hair and a wig in his bed. How could my own daughter lie to protect my enemy? He's not your enemy, father. I will think of a suitable punishment for you. So as we've seen, David, obviously killed Goliath, and, he rose to fame. Saul, made him an officer. Even Saul was like, was thankful and all that, and was had appreciation for David and all that. And Jonathan was astonished to be his friend. I mean, it was all incredible. But then as people begin to love David more, and his family loved him, his army loved him, his own people loved David, and he felt that they loved him more than Saul, more than himself, I should say. And you know, uh, and the devil and his demons put that stuff in your head. He was putting it in his head because he wanted, God's plan, God's chosen one was David. If Saul would, if the devil would have been able to convince Saul to, kill David, then that would have ruined God's plans. Just the same way as the devil tempted Jesus in the desert. He tempted him because he wanted to ruin God's plans, and it didn't work. God is the Almighty. He's, all powerful. The devil is nothing to him. The devil is powerless to him. With the flick of his finger, he knocked him out of heaven. It's not going to take anything for him to destroy the devil. Even when the end of the world comes, he would just say the words, and he will be cast into the lake of fire with his demons. So what should we learn from the story? Have the faith, in God, just as David did, and you will never have nothing to fear or worry about ever. God took care of David, every time. David didn't do nothing wrong, and David didn't even know that Saul was trying to kill him, but God knew what his intentions were, which is why he, prevented his death, and which was why he helped that woman be there to hear and then tell Michelle so Michelle can get David out of there. So, God's always looking out for you. I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something new. As always, take it easy, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.